You and my present.
What's going on, guys? My name is F. Putcher and welcome to a brand new video, and welcome to Singapore for the Singapore Grand Prix. And it was a weird practice session. You see Daniel Ricciardo there was down in 14th. I'm in 6th. Felipe Massa amazingly topped the session from Nico Hulkenberg, and Jenson Button was in 3rd. But Daniel Kvyat up in 4th, so as you can see, it's very strange with like Hamilton in 12th, Alonso in 11th, Vettel in, I think that was 10th. It was just very strange, and it was really unexpected. But it was dry as well, and Rosberg's down in 8th. The Mercedes is not doing so well, and it was just really strange qualifying. No, sorry, not qualifying, practice. But now we're in qualifying, and we're in Q3, and for once, Jenson Button has actually got into Q3 again for this Grand Prix. He hasn't for the past, I think, 2 or 3 Grand Prix, but now we're in Q3, and we are coming through here right now. We're coming through the final corner with now we've got the DRS open, 7th gear, shift down to 3rd for the first corner, and you want to get a nice just run through, just clip the AUX thing, go down to 2nd gear for the turn, I think 3, and now coming up to this turn, and you brake down to 3rd gear. And I would say when we're going through the Singapore thing, but I don't know which is Singapore thing, so I can't really. But now coming up here, we hit I think only 7th gear. And yeah, only 7th gear, and shift down to 3rd, but obviously we're purple, but nobody else set a lap time yet. And the first one to set lap time, I believe will be Jenson Button, actually my teammate. But we're coming through now, and I think that might have been where the Singapore thing was. I don't know, so don't quote me on that. But now we're coming up here, and I think this is actually a Singapore thing. Again, don't quote me on that. I'm probably wrong. But now coming through here, and you really just want to get in, and this track is really hard to drive. It's really technical, and that's why when you see a difficulty thing actually on the game, all the circles are in black, filled in, just like all the circles for Monaco, because these are the most technical tracks, the ones that push you really hard, and they're most technical, and tracks that all the drivers love. But you know, this is a long lap. And I think this was made by Herman Tilke. Like quite a lot of the tracks are, like China, and I think Bahrain one as well. But right now, Button's in 4th, and Ricciardo's on pole at the moment, which isn't good because he's our rival. But we're coming around here now through the final corner, and we set a 46.132, I believe that is, and that's the lap that we bank on, and that gets us 8th. So Daniel Ricciardo, our rival, is on pole position. Fernando Alonso is in 2nd. Felipe Massa in 3rd for Williams. Jenson Button, our teammate, getting 4th. Rosberg was in 5th, and I'm not sure where Hamilton was actually. I didn't catch it there. Now we're getting into the car though, and it's intermediate conditions now. So I did actually look at the weather, and I did find out there was intermediate conditions, and I think that's what my car is set up for. I can't actually remember, but now we're going onto the monitor, and here are the upgrades. We had a brake update, improved brake cooling duct. Has now gone to the teammate challenge. Still absolutely smashing Jenson Button, and race strategy, 1 stop on lap 15 for another set of the intermediates. And as we look on to the setup, and yes, it is, and no, this isn't set up for the wet or the dry really. It works well in both. But that setup is from Rightbox, and so you can go and use it from my video, or you can use it from his. It's just I changed the brake bias a bit, and I was going to run through the grid, but I didn't have enough time to actually. But now as we're going out onto the grid, I'm looking for a good race. 8th, it's not that bad. It's a good position to be on the grid really, I guess, but it can be better. But I'm in a McLaren. It's not the fastest car out there, but I'm in a good position. I need to beat Daniel Ricciardo, who got pole, and that's not good at the moment. But if you remember last race, he had a bad race, and we're currently beating him 1-0 in the rival challenge. And then you see him there, our rival on pole position, not really where we want him to be. But Jenson Button, fantastic qualifying to get in 4th, and then I'm in 8th. And you can see alongside me we have Hamilton now, So Hamilton is 7th, not the best qualified thing, not the best qualified for Mercedes in overall really. As now we're coming up to 5 red lights, and away we go. And Sebastian Vettel qualified in 11th, just to let you know. And we get a not good start. Raikkonen gets past us, and so does Perez. But coming to the first corner, we shift down to second gear. Massa's taking the lead, and now Ricciardo's back up into the lead. We're back down to 8th. Now Massa's got the lead, and Button is overtaking Ricciardo, I believe, for second. And I don't know if he's going to get me, and he does. And Ricciardo breaks really early, and we go up inside of Alonso and Ricciardo. And now battling with Alonso here. I don't know if we'll get past him. And we go up into the rich mix to try and keep our eye on him. And slight contact, I think, but nevertheless we get in front and we're up into third. Now later on lap 1, you can see we lose the back end, and that lets actually Sebastian Vettel past. So Vettel, who started 11th, is now up into third, and he has Button ahead of him, and he has Button and Massa ahead of him. Massa is not the fastest, but now we're going to lean just to minimise the wheel spin. And I think we're trying to save a bit of fuel as well. But now, as we lose the back end slightly again, Ricciardo not going to get past. As now we go on to lap 14. This is 1 lap away from our scheduled pit stop. We're battling. You see, we lost part of our front wing, and we lose the back end. And losing the back end into every single corner. It's so frustrating when that happens. And Alonso's actually lost part of his front wing as well. But we're in 4th, and we need to defend again from Alonso. Rosberg's now in 6th, and we run wide, but we don't get overtaken, I don't think. And I think that was Rosberg. Yes, it was Rosberg trying to go through the outside there. And now I think that's Perez or Hulkenberg. I think that's Hulkenberg there, trying to get past him. We lose the back end slightly again, and now then big time. And I believe no, it's Perez and Rosberg gets past. We tried to go inside, but that doesn't work. We were way too far back. So that's Rosberg basically gone into the distance. As we make another tiny mistake, but we maintain 5th this time. And we are nearly coming through a second sector. We'll see what the time will be as we come through a second split. As we could go back down to lean, because we know we're not going to catch him, but our rear tyres are completely dead. And the gap that Rosberg has already through a second sector split is a 2.5 second gap. That's unbelievable. Yes, he's in a Mercedes, and yes, we're in a McLaren, but that's not the main thing. It's because we would be closer. Just it's in the wet. As we're defending from Perez and the person behind Perez, I don't know who's in 7th, but we have Perez so very much on our gearbox, and that's Hamilton in 7th. And now we're just trying to defend. We have to defend with our life as we lose the back end. We're losing the back end pretty much through every corner. We're just basically trying to make it through. As we're correcting the car now, and we're just basically trying to keep the wheel and the car on the road. As now we're coming to the pits on a lap early, because these tyres are just completely gone. And now we're into limits, and I think we're going to drop that massively. Ricciardo's in 16th though, so he's having another bad race, which of course is good for us. As now coming to the pit, and a fresh set of the intermediate tyres gone, and a front wing change, and we rejoin in, and that's a 6.2 second pit stop. Now we go up into the rich mix, and I think we go back down to standard or lean. I think we go back down to standard, as we rejoin in 22nd place, and that's because that's because nobody else is pitted. Everyone I think is pitting next lap or lap 16. Apart from Ricciardo, who's already pitted. I think he has to pit again, as now we are going on to all the way on to, as now we do go up to 13th, then we make up normal places, and I think we get up into 6th again. As now we go on to the final lap, but I believe, yeah, lap 13, not much has happened. We got back up into 6th, Hamilton passes, and now we have we were defending from Alonso and Kvyat. We get 6th place, nevertheless, in this race. So I finished in 6th. Jensen, but my teammate got 2nd. Sebastian Vettel actually ended up winning the race. My rival Daniel Ricciardo finishes in 22nd. I think he actually DNF'd. As there you go, Sebastian Vettel won the race, and no, Ricciardo didn't DNF, but he started on pole and finished in last. But Sebastian Vettel won the race after qualifying 11th on the grid. Jensen, but my teammate finishes in 2nd. 3rd, that will do Button a world of good in the championship. Massa 3rd for Williams. Rosberg in 4th. Hamilton in 5th. I'm in 6th. I finished in 6th. Alonso 7th. 8th is joining for 9th Daniel Kvyat. They did good for Toro Rosso, and amazingly, the Sauber of Adrian Sutil getting a point in 10th place. But everybody was lapped apart from Hamilton, Rosberg, Massa, Button, and Vettel. So everybody was lapped apart from the top 5. And yeah, it was a very strange race. Ricciardo qualifying on pole and then finishing last. That's obviously has done us a world of good in the championship, and it's obviously good that we're beating him, because now we're 2-0 in the rival challenge, and if we beat Ricciardo 2 more times this season, we will have that Red Bull seat. And yeah, it was a good race. I'm very pleased with it. I'm not disheartened by it at all, really, as now we've gone to the Drivers' Championship. Rosberg leads the way, 11 points ahead of Lewis Hamilton. Sebastian Vettel finishes in 3rd. I'm now in 4th, 1 point ahead of Daniel Ricciardo, which is always good. Fernando Alonso is in 6th, and then it's in the Ferrari of Kimi Raikkonen in 7th. 8th is my teammate Jenson Button, 3 points away from Kimi Raikkonen, I believe. And Hulkenberg is in 8th, 9th, then right out of the top 10 is Sergio Perez. And both Williams there still low down. But Massa has now got his pace as 11th in the championship, because there were title points after Italy, but now Massa's got 15 points, finishing 3rd, as now gone to the constructors. Mercedes again leading the way. I think that's now 180 points. McLaren, we're in 3rd again, ahead of Ferrari. That's the main battle to watch, is between McLaren and Ferrari, and that's mainly it. But Mercedes can be world champions, constructors world champions by the end of the next race at Japan. But we'll have to wait and see what happens. But yeah, guys, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you are new to my channel for F1 content. As always, you can follow me on Twitter at F1HeadPetrol. Link to that down in the description. But for now, Forza Jules, and keep fighting, Michael. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Other people say